Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
General Hospital spoilers, Wednesday, September 17, 2025, drama unfolds in Port Charles. The residents of Port Charles face another day of emotional upheaval, shocking revelations, and intense confrontations in the Wednesday, September 17, 2025, episode of General Hospital. As the ABC soap opera continues its gripping storytelling, this episode promises to deliver pivotal moments for fan-favorite characters. Here's a detailed breakdown of the spoilers, exploring the key events and their potential impact on the ongoing narratives. Jason delivers somber news. Jason Morgan, played by Steve Burton, takes center stage as he delivers somber news that is sure to ripple through Port Charles. While the exact nature of this news remains undisclosed in the spoilers, its weight is evident from the description. Given Jason's recent involvement in high-stakes storylines, including Britt Westbourne's dramatic return and the fallout from Drew Quartermaine's shooting, this could tie into one of those arcs. Perhaps Jason is grappling with the emotional toll of Monica Quartermaine's passing, which has been teased as a major event affecting the Quartermaine family this week. Alternatively, the somber news could relate to Jocelyn Jack's dangerous involvement with the WSB or Britt's precarious situation following her escape from the Five Poppies. Jason's stoic demeanor often masks deep emotional currents, and this moment is likely to showcase his struggle to balance duty and personal loss. Fans can expect a poignant scene that underscores Jason's role as a pillar of strength even as he navigates his own grief or guilt. Chase and Dante compare notes. Detectives Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, and Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, team up to compare notes, likely advancing the investigation into Drew's shooting. This storyline has been a focal point in recent episodes, with Michael Corinthos emerging as a prime suspect and Anna Devane aggressively pursuing leads. Chase and Dante's collaboration suggests new evidence or a fresh perspective on the case. Their discussion could involve dissecting Michael's alibi, which has been questioned, or exploring other suspects, such as Carly Spencer, who was overheard threatening Drew's life. The dynamic between Chase and Dante, both dedicated to justice but with differing approaches, promises a compelling exchange as they piece together clues. This moment could also hint at a breakthrough in the investigation, setting the stage for dramatic confrontations later in the week. Cody is taken aback. Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, finds himself caught off guard by an unexpected development. Cody's recent interactions with characters like Christina Corinthos Davis and Molly Lansing Davis suggest he's been drawn into the town's emotional and legal turmoil. The spoilers don't specify what shocks Cody, but it could be related to his budding connection with Christina, who encouraged him in the previous episode, or a revelation tied to the ongoing investigation. Cody's rough-around-the-edges personality often leads to surprising moments of vulnerability, and this event might push him to confront his past or make a bold decision. Whether it's a personal betrayal or a plot twist tied to Port Charles's criminal underbelly, Cody's reaction will likely add depth to his character and keep viewers guessing. Britt has a scratchy encounter. Britt Westbourne's shocking return to Port Charles continues to stir drama, and on September 17, she faces a scratchy encounter. This could refer to a tense or confrontational moment, possibly with her mother, Liesl Albrecht, who was so stunned by Britt's return that she fainted in a previous episode. The phrase scratchy encounter suggests an emotionally charged or abrasive interaction, which aligns with Britt's complex relationship with Liesl. Alternatively, this could involve another character affected by Britt's reappearance, such as Nina Reeves, who recently reunited with her, or Jason, who risked everything to rescue her. Britt's return has been fraught with danger and emotional stakes, and this encounter is likely to highlight her struggle to reintegrate into a town that believed her dead. Fans can anticipate a fiery scene that showcases Britt's resilience and the lingering wounds of her past. Kai makes an alarming realization. Kai, portrayed by Jens Austin Astrup, experiences a moment of clarity that sends shockwaves through his storyline. Kai's recent actions, including his alliance with Trina Robinson to gain the upper hand on Drew, suggest he's entangled in the town's power struggles. This alarming realization could involve uncovering a betrayal, a dangerous truth about Drew's plans, or a new threat tied to the shooting investigation. Kai's position as a newer character in Port Charles makes his arc unpredictable, but his realization is poised to shift his alliances or actions in significant ways. This moment could also intersect with Trina's storyline, as their collaboration has been a key focus. Expect a dramatic beat that raises the stakes for Kai and those around him. Context and ongoing storylines. The September 17th episode is part of a broader week of intense developments in Port Charles. The Quartermaine family is reeling from the loss of Monica Quartermaine, a beloved matriarch whose passing marks a turning point for the show. This tragedy sets an emotional backdrop for Jason and Tracy's interactions later in the week, as they find solace in each other. Meanwhile, Brit's return has upended multiple lives, with her mother Liesl, friend Nina, and former ally Jason all grappling with the implications. The investigation into Drew's shooting continues to dominate, with Michael, Carly, and Willow caught in a web of suspicion and deception. Jocelyn and Vaughn's risky romance, coupled with their entanglement with the WSB, adds another layer of danger, while Emma and Joe's budding relationship faces challenges from distressing news. These interconnected threads create a rich tapestry of drama, ensuring that every scene in this episode carries weight. Why this episode matters. General Hospital has a storied history of blending emotional depth with high-stakes drama, and the September 17th episode exemplifies this tradition. The spoilers hint at pivotal moments that advance major storylines while setting up future conflicts. Jason's somber news could reshape his relationships, while Chase and Dante's investigation may bring the truth about Drew's shooting closer to light. Cody's shock and Brit's tense encounter promise character-driven moments that deepen their arcs, and Kai's realization could shift the balance of power in Port Charles. As the show honors its legacy, celebrating over 60 years on air and holding the record for the most daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Drama Series, this episode continues to deliver the compelling storytelling that keeps fans hooked. The sun hung low over Port Charles, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns of the Quartermaine estate, as if the very sky mourned the impending storm. It was Wednesday, September 17, 2025, and the air carried a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn breeze whispering through the maple trees. Jason Morgan stepped out of his sleek black SUV, his boots crunching against the gravel driveway with a deliberate heaviness. His face, usually a mask of stoic resolve forged in the fires of countless crises, was etched with lines of grief that no amount of squinting against the light could hide. In his hand, he clutched a simple white envelope, official, impersonal, the kind that delivered blows no heart could brace for. Monica Quartermaine was gone. Just like that. A sudden aneurysm, the doctors had said, her body giving out after decades of holding the Quartermaine empire together with sheer willpower and a mother's unyielding love. Jason's fingers tightened around the envelope until the paper crinkled, a small rebellion against the finality of it all. He paused at the grand oak doors of the mansion, the ones Edward had imported from some forgotten European estate, and took a breath. Delivering somber news like this, it was his job, in a way. He'd informed widows of husbands lost to mob wars, friends of betrayals that shattered alliances. But this? This was family. Blood, or as close as it got for a man like him, who had been pulled from the wreckage of a car crash and reborn into a world of shadows. Monica had been there from the beginning, her hand steady on his shoulder when the world spun too fast. She'd fought for him when the family wanted him cast out like yesterday's scandal. And now, she was the one who wouldn't walk through these doors again. Pushing the door open, Jason entered the opulent foyer, where crystal chandeliers dangled like frozen tears. The house was quieter than usual, the staff moving like ghosts, sensing the shift in the ether. Tracy Quartermaine was in the living room, perched on the edge of a velvet chaise lounge, her sharp eyes scanning a tablet filled with stock reports. She looked up, her perfectly coiffed hair not a strand out of place, but Jason saw the flicker, the vulnerability she buried under layers of sarcasm and schemes. "Jason," she said, her voice a whipcrack of efficiency masking concern. "You're early for tea. What's got that face looking like you swallowed a lemon whole?" He didn't sit. Didn't soften the blow. Crossing the Persian rug in 3 strides, he extended the envelope. "Tracy. It's Monica." Her eyes narrowed, then widened as she snatched the paper, tearing it open with manicured nails that suddenly seemed too fragile. The words blurred before her, medical jargon, timestamps, condolences that rang hollow. "No," she whispered, the tablet clattering to the floor. "This is some internist's mistake. Call them back. Tell them to check the charts again." Jason knelt beside her, his hand on her arm, rare touch from a man who preferred distance. "It's real. They confirmed it twice. She didn't suffer. Tracy's laugh was bitter, a shard of glass in the silence. Suffer? Monica never suffered fools, but life? Oh, she suffered plenty for this family. Tears welled, unbidden, and she swiped them away like enemies. Who else knows? Drew? Ned? That harpy Alexis? Not yet, Jason replied, his voice gravel rough. I came to you first. Figured you'd want to handle the calls. She nodded, steeling herself, the matriarch rising from the ashes even as her heart fractured. Of course. We'll gather them. The Quartermains don't crumble, we rebuild. But as Jason stood, she grabbed his wrist, her grip fierce. She loved you, you know. More than her own blood sometimes. Don't you dare disappear into one of your safe houses now. He met her gaze, blue eyes stormy. I won't. Not for this. Across town, in the sterile glow of the Port Charles Police Department's bullpen, Detective Harrison Chase leaned back in his creaky desk chair, rubbing the bridge of his nose as if he could massage away the headache of bias accusations. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like judgmental insects, illuminating stacks of case files on Drew Kane's alleged involvement in the waterfront shooting. Anna Devane's words from yesterday echoed in his skull, "You're too close to this, Chase. Willow's friendship is clouding your judgment. Damn her for being right." Willow Tate, soon to be Corinthos, if the wedding bells didn't get drowned out by this mess, was like a sister to Brooke Lynn, and by extension, to him. But evidence didn't care about family ties. The bullet casings in Drew's safe, the encrypted files on his computer pointing to insider knowledge of the shipment, it all screamed guilt. The door to the break room swung open, and Dante Falconeri sauntered in, 2 styrofoam cups of coffee in hand, black for both, no sugar to dull the bitterness. You look like hell, Dante said, sliding a cup across the scarred Formica table. His detective shield glinted under the lights, a reminder of the life he'd chosen over the mob shadows of his youth. Chase accepted the coffee with a grunt. Feel like it. Anna's got me on a leash with this Drew thing. Says I'm defending him because of Willow. Dante dropped into the opposite chair, his leather jacket creaking. And you're not? Come on, man. We both know Drew's no saint, but pinning a hit on him? That's a stretch, even for Port Charles. Chase sipped, the burn grounding him. Stretch or not, we've got to compare notes. Objectively. No feelings, no favorites. He pulled a folder from his satchel, flipping it open to reveal grainy surveillance photos, Drew entering his lakeside cabin the night of the shooting, a shadowy figure in the background that could be anyone, or no one. Dante leaned in, his cop instincts sharpening. Okay, let's break it down. Motive, Drew's running for Senate, right? That waterfront deal gone south could have been political sabotage. But who benefits? Sonny? Valentine? Or is it deeper, like Cassadine-level revenge? Means, Chase continued, tapping a photo of the safe's interior. The gun matches the caliber from the scene. But no prints, wiped clean. Opportunity, he was alone that night, alibis his word against the logs showing his car near the docks. Dante nodded, jotting notes on a napkin. And the encrypted drive? I ran it through forensics, it's got manifests for arms shipments, but nothing tying directly to the hit. Could be legit business for Aurora. Chase's jaw tightened. Or cover. Look, Dante, I want him innocent as much as you do. Olivia's been on my case about family loyalty, but if we're wrong. We're not rushing to judgment, Dante cut in, his voice steady as the harbor tides. We dig deeper. Talk to Trina again, she saw something that night. And Kai, kid's been twitchy since. As if summoned by mention, the bullpen door banged open elsewhere, but for now, the 2 detectives hunkered down, their conversation a lifeline in the chaos, piecing together the puzzle that threatened to unravel the fragile peace of their town. Meanwhile, at the Metro Court, the lunchtime crowd buzzed with oblivious chatter, tourists snapping selfies, locals nursing hangovers with mimosas. Cody Bell wiped down the bar with mechanical precision, his mind a whirlwind far from the polish of glassware. Maxie Jones had cornered him yesterday, her eyes sparkling with that meddlesome gleam, probing about his type after he'd let slip a compliment about Molly Lansing Davis during a late-night shift. Molly. The ADA with the fire-kissed hair and a laugh that cut through the din like sunlight. What the hell was he thinking? He was a rodeo drifter turned stable hand, secrets piled higher than hay bales, Sasha's breakdowns, Mac's paternity bombs. Feelings like this? They were a luxury he couldn't afford, not when one wrong glance could drag her into his orbit of trouble. The door chimed, and there she was with Molly, striding in with purpose, her briefcase swinging like a pendulum. She wore a tailored navy suit that hugged her curves just enough to make Cody's throat dry, her heels clicking authority against the marble floor. Cody, she called, sliding onto a stool with a smile that lit the dim corner. Got a minute? I need your take on something. He froze, cloth midswipe, heart slamming like a bucking bronco. Taken aback didn't cover it, he was poleaxed, words tangling in his chest. Yeah. Sure. Coffee? Or something stronger? She laughed, that sound again, warm and unfiltered. Just soda. Listen, TJ's been buried in shifts at the hospital, and this case, it's got me second-guessing. You know that waterfront mess? The shooting? Cody's grip tightened on the bar rag. Of course she was here for work. Not for him. Heard about it. Sonny's probably got his fingers in it somehow. Molly leaned in, voice dropping conspiratorially. Maybe. But the evidence points to Drew. And I don't want to believe it. He's family, sort of. Her eyes searched his, vulnerable in a way that made his chest ache. What do you think? Gut feeling? Gut feeling? His screamed run, but his mouth betrayed him. I think you're too good for this town's poison. But if it's Drew, follow the money. Or the grudges. He paused, then, reckless, added, and if you need backup, I'm here. No questions. Her smile deepened, fingers brushing his as she took the soda. Careful, cowboy. That sounds like trouble. He was taken aback all over again, the spark between them electric, undeniable. As she chatted on about depositions and deadlines, Cody wondered if this was the moment his carefully walled life cracked open, or shattered. In the underbelly of Port Charles General Hospital, where the fluorescent hum masked the beeps of monitors and the whispers of desperation, Britt Westbourne moved like a shadow through the corridors. She'd returned, resurrected in the eyes of those who thought her lost to Huntington's cruel grip, but it was no miracle. It was leverage, a deal struck in smoke-filled rooms with men whose names she dared not utter. Her research, the experimental trials she'd faked her death to pursue, had yielded results. A serum that dulled the symptoms, bought time. But at what cost? The orders came from higher up the food chain, vague directives to observe and report on certain patients. Jason, for one. His latest brush with death had left markers in his blood they wanted to exploit. She adjusted her white coat, the fabric starched and anonymous, and slipped into a supply closet for a moment's breath. The door clicked shut behind her, but she wasn't alone. A figure emerged from the stacks, scratchy, unkempt, his beard a tangle of neglect, eyes wild with the fever of conspiracy. It was Felix, the nurse who'd always had a nose for drama, but today he looked unhinged, his scrubs rumpled, a file clutched like a talisman. Britt, he rasped, voice like sandpaper on silk, scratchy, indeed. You're supposed to be dead. I saw the obit. Kelly Thibault, right? Wait, no, you're Britt Westbourne. God, what is this? A twin? A clone? Britt's hand flew to the scalpel in her pocket, instinct sharp as the blade. Felix. Keep your voice down. It's me. Long story, Huntington's, faked exit, the works. But if you breathe a word. He backed against the shelves, vials rattling. I won't. But listen, I've seen things. Monica's charts? They're fudged. Someone's covering an overdose, not an aneurysm. And Jason, he was here last night, arguing with her. About Drew. About the safe. Brit's pulse spiked. Scratchy encounter indeed. This wasn't flirtation or fate, it was a grenade with the pin half pulled. What do you mean, fudged? Show me. Felix thrust the file forward, pages yellowed and annotated in frantic scrawl. Look, Talk's screen shows traces of something exotic. Not natural. And the timestamps? Off by hours. If this gets out. It won't, Brit hissed, snatching the file, her mind racing. Jason delivering somber news, had he known? Was this why the orders had intensified? You saw nothing. Say anything, and I'll make sure your next shift is in the morgue. For real. Felix nodded, swallowing hard, and slipped out, leaving Brit alone with the ghosts of her choices. She pocketed a page, heart-pounding. Resurrection came with strings, and these were tightening around her throat. Back at the Quartermain estate, the news spread like wildfire through dry tinder. Drew Kane arrived first, his Senate campaign button still pinned to his lapel, face paling as Tracy relayed the details in clipped tones. Aneurysm, she repeated, as if saying it louder would make it untrue. In her sleep. Peaceful, they say. Drew's hand trembled as he poured scotch from the decanter, the amber liquid sloshing. Peaceful? Monica was a force, hurricanes don't go peaceful. He glanced at Jason, the brother he'd once been, cloned from the same fractured soul. You okay? Jason shrugged, the motion mechanical. Had to tell her. About the investigation. Last night. She was worried about you, Drew. Said to trust family over files. Drew's eyes darkened, the weight of accusations pressing. And now this? Timing's too perfect. Someone's tying up loose ends. Tracy whirled, her grief fueling fury. Don't you dare turn this into one of your conspiracies. Monica died of a broken heart, too many years propping up this circus. But doubt flickered in Jason's eyes. He'd seen the charts Felix had whispered about earlier, a tip-off before the call came. Something off, a shadow in the margins. Somber news delivered, but questions lingered, festering like an untreated wound. Across the hall, in the sunroom where Monica had once tended her roses, Ned Quartermain embraced Olivia, his ex-wife and eternal anchor. She was the glue, he murmured, voice thick. Without her. Olivia pulled back, her Jersey fire unquenched. Hey, none of that. Monica raised warriors. We'll honor her by fighting, for Drew, for the truth. As the family gathered, phones buzzing with arrivals, Michael, Willow, even Carly, her face a mask of composed sorrow, the estate filled with the murmur of memories. Stories flowed, Monica's battle with the board to save GH, her secret soft spot for Jason's leather jackets, the way she'd stare down Edward with a single arched brow. Laughter mingled with sobs, a tapestry of love woven tight. But beneath it, currents swirled. Willow pulled Michael aside, her hand on her swelling belly, Scout's little sibling kicking in solidarity. I gave him the evidence, she whispered, nodding toward Drew. The real logs from that night. Proves he wasn't at the docks. Michael's jaw set. Good. But if Sonny's involved. He's not, she insisted, though doubt gnawed. Willow wasn't taking care of Scout today, not with this shadow over them. The nanny had the toddler, safe in ignorance, while Willow fought for a future untainted by lies. In the garden, Kai Robinson paced the flagstone path, Trina Robinson at his side, her artist's fingers twisting a sketch pad. They'd snuck away from the chaos, but Kai's realization hit like a rogue wave. Trina, that shadow in the surveillance, it's not just anyone. It's Valentine. He was watching Drew's place that night. We hid the evidence, but if he knows we were there. Trina's eyes widened, chocolate brown pools of fear and resolve. Then we tell Dante. Or Anna. We can't keep this buried, not with Monica gone. It feels connected. Kai stopped, pulling her close, the scent of her vanilla shampoo a brief anchor. Alarming doesn't cover it. If Valentine's pulling strings, we're pawns. And pawns get sacrificed. She nodded, chin lifting defiantly. Then we flipped the board. As dusk crept in, painting the sky bruised purple, Sonny Corinthos stood on the docks, wind whipping his coat like accusations. Molly approached, heels sinking into the wood planks, her earlier chat with Cody forgotten in the gravity of the call. "Mr. C," she said, voice steady despite the tremor. "We need to talk. About Drew. About the shooting." Sonny turned, his dark eyes assessing. "Molly. Always the straight shooter. What's eating you?" She squared her shoulders. "Evidence points to him. But I think it's framed. And now Monica, it's too coincidental." Sonny's laugh was low, world-weary. "In this town? Nothing's coincidence. But Drew's family. We protect our own." "Takes on Molly," she pressed, the words hanging heavy. "If you're covering—" "I'm not," he growled, but his hand clenched the railing. "But I'll handle it. You focus on justice. Clean." As she walked away, Sonny pulled out his phone, dialing a number etched in secrecy. "Yeah. It's me. We need to talk about loose ends. Starting with Monica." The episode wove on, threads intertwining in the grand soap opera of Port Charles. Carly Spencer arrived at the estate late, her red hair aflame in the twilight, embracing Jason with a fierceness that spoke volumes. "She was my rock," Carly whispered, tears streaking mascara. "Through everything, Sonny, the hotels, the heartbreaks." Jason held her, the embrace awkward but genuine. "She believed in us. Even when we didn't." Inside, the vigil began, candles lit, photos passed hand to hand. Britt slipped in unnoticed, her white coat shed for civilian black, file burning a hole in her purse. She cornered Jason in the study, the room heavy with leather-bound tomes and ghosts. "We need to talk," she said, voice low. "About Monica's charts." His eyes sharpened, the somber deliverer now Hunter. "Britt. How?" "Later," she urged. "But listen, the talks screen. It's not natural. Someone poisoned her. To silence her about you. About the research." Jason's world tilted, grief morphing to rage. "Who?" "The same ones pulling my strings." "Cassidy's? Or deeper?" Their encounter was scratchy raw, interrupted by Tracy's call, words half-spoken, suspicions half-formed. But the seed was planted, a revolution in the making. Chase and Dante, post-notes, hit the streets, interviewing witnesses near the docks. A homeless vet spun tales of shadows and shots, pointing fingers at a fancy car that matched Drew's. But deeper digs revealed alibis cracking, Valentine's jet logs falsified, Kai's phone pings too close for comfort. Cody, closing the Metro court, found Molly waiting in the alley, rain starting to patter. "Couldn't sleep," she admitted. "That gut feeling you mentioned, it's screaming." He stepped closer, rain mingling with the spark. "Then listen to it. And to me, whatever this is, I'm in." Their kiss was tentative, then fierce, taken aback no more, passion a balm against the storm. As the clock struck midnight, the Quartermain lights burned bright, a beacon in the dark. Monica's portrait hung in the hall, her smile enigmatic. The family toasted her, scotch raised, vows made. To Monica, Ned intoned. "Who taught us love is the ultimate power play." But power plays abounded. Drew confronted Sonny in the shadows, fists clenched. "If you had anything to do with this." Sonny's eyes flashed. "Family, Drew. That's all I protect." Lies layered upon truths, the episode closed on Jason alone on the balcony, staring at the stars. Somber news delivered, but the real story? Just beginning. Port Charles wept, but it would rise, fiercer, fractured, forever entwined.